we're going to start with our spring ankle series. So this is going to be 4 different motions. The first 2 are going to be isometrics. The next 2 we'll use as reps. So we'll have you set up here. This first position, we're thinking like we have, like we're at top end. So foot stacked underneath hip, nice and tall up top, slight bend in the knee, long trunk, and we'll hold for a 10 count. Position 2, we're going to work our way down into almost an acceleration position. Knee over toe, heel nice and high. We'll hold for a 10 count. Then we're going to work it as reps. So we'll go about 10 from position 1 to position 2. And then last, we're going to do a heel pump. So for this, trying to just focus on moving just the foot and the ankle, not anything else. And on that right side, might be a little bit fatigued. Okay, so take your time. Find a position that you feel comfortable. Let's go on the left side for starters here. So nice and tall, bend through the toes, slight bend in the knee, and then heel nice and high and get real long through your trunk. Good. And we'll hold there for about a 10 count. All right. 3, 2, 1. Action. Excellent. Good. Down low. So we saw that we started with this with Hafsa as well. For Amira, we were using this for a different purpose per se, but again, it just kind of speaks to the versatility for things like this and others that are similar. Go ahead and come back up. Let's go 10 reps here. You know, where something like this is a pure warm-up movement prep, isometric, whatever term you use. And then for Amira here, we're using this more so for my liking than for hers, if we're being honest, and allowing me to kind of see what the structural and mechanical differences are left to right. You know, we came in this morning having some specific focus and input on this right leg. So being able to see a variety of foot positions, different angles, different pressures, and being able to utilize that as a way to gauge the session to follow. So we'll stay on the left side, and we're going to do the last one, the heel pumps. So we'll come down nice and low. Think like acceleration. Good. Hold the heel nice and high. And then push it down nice and hard. Good. And we want to try to control any pelvic movement here. So really just loading through the foot, the ankle, and the lower leg. Fatiguing already?
Yeah.
Okay, it's going to be a long day. Try to get that heel flush to the ground if we can.
Like touching?
Yeah.
Okay.
4, 5, now we got a rhythm. 6. See how you're kind of flexing through your toes here?
Relaxing.
Try to bend through this portion here. And when you move that heel, no motion here, try to just focus to the backside. It's going to move on you a little bit, but just for conceptual purposes, think about that. Good. There we go. That's actually way better. Let's do 2 more. 1, 2. Good. Shake that out. And now we'll come over to the right side. Okay on that?
Yeah.
Cool. Nice and tall for this first one. Top end. Yep. Kind of press your hands into the post a little bit too, so like push your body away. Yeah, right there. Good. Think nice and tall, long through the spine, long through the ribs. Good pressure, even between big toe, pinky toe on that right foot. Let's go ahead and come down into position 2. Knee over toe. Good. 8, 7, 6, heel high, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now 10 reps. So we started to see just a little bit of shaking there on Amira, which is very common in that triple flex position. My theory, I suppose, on that is just demonstrating that muscles aren't communicating. We have some kind of sensory motor impairment, and we are not able to create co-contraction or force coupling above and below the ankle. So if you are performing these or similar with other isometrics, and you notice that shaking, twitching response, to me, I try to think about holding through it, breathing through it, and trying to get the body to adjust to the position. Well done. Good. Now we'll go into that 4th one, your favorite. Try to find good deep flexion angles and isolate just that foot and the ankle. So let's get your foot back a little bit under you. A little bit more. Right about that. Good. And let's load it from there. Yep. Good, nothing moves but the foot and the ankle. Then through the toes, press coming down. So here's that little twitch response too. We're transitioning down. There we go. 8, 9, 10. Well done. All right, let's walk around, shake it out. So here we're going to do kind of like a little adductor mobility. So what I want to do on this is we're going to set here, and you're going to kind of have this like almost 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock knee angle, and get as much space between your knees as you can without feeling uncomfortable. And then now I'm just going to use, this will probably be a little bit light, but we're just going to use the kettlebell to kind of load into that front leg. Okay, so I want you to really focus on driving down through this right knee, or down knee, and then really trying to push knee over toe here when you get back to the top. Big breath in. Full exhale coming over. 5 or 6 reps each side, but take your time on this. Let your body kind of tell you where you need to go and specify some of those specifics. Good. So square your shoulders up to knee to start. Yep. And then we're going to track left with that knee going almost right to your like third toe, right over the midfoot. Good. Much, much slower. So load into it. Keep kettlebell off the ground. Good. Now press. Go to the end. Go to the end. Yep. Now hold right there. Press the kettlebell down. Use that as an anchor or a fixed point. Push your knee forward over your toe on the left side, even if it's just in thought. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's work back. Kettle off. Yep.
Slow.
Yeah, just very conscious
Okay.
is kind of what we're going for here. And I want you to think about what you're feeling and what you feel like you need to do to adjust to get more out of this movement. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's do 2 more. Go back. Breath in. Full exhale. Slow and smooth. When you find your end point, drop a kettlebell, anchor in. Good. 3, 2, 1. Let's do 1 more. Yep. And find your end range. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. Smooth out. Let's go ahead and hit to the other side. Feel okay on that?
Yep. I stretch.
Same exact points over here. But on this side, 2 things. 1, be a little bit more conscientious about breath pattern. Okay, because you saw from rep 3 to rep 4, just by taking a breath, fell into it, right? So this being our kind of focus side for today, conscientious about breath, and start with a shorter range of motion, we'll add to it each rep. Okay? You're in full control. Good. Excellent. So with Amira coming in today, it's end of the week, Friday, I think. Reasonably high training load with a specific focal point of right side, medial calf, posterior tibialis, right adductor, hamstring, just the typical descriptors that we hear, tight, heavy. So when we're trying to focus on restorative applications or regeneration sessions, I think about it in the inverse that we do with general training. So with general training, we start very wide, very broad, and we work down to a specific point. When we're thinking working on the restorative side of things, I flip that. I think we want to start at the isolated point, very specific, and then work out to being general. So that we'll go one more here. That applies obviously to the tissue work, anything that's therapeutic or additional modalities, and in the strength setting and in the gym setting, we want to facilitate those points through the warm-up movement prep, very, very specific focal point, and then working our way out of that as we go throughout the session, going from an isolated viewpoint to an integrated one. Good, so now I'm just gonna have you stand up and think like I want you to think as light and like flowy as you can, okay? So we're just gonna use this for a little bit of elevation, and then I just want you to kind of drop in, feel what you feel, and then work your way back up to that top position. Let's go about 5 each side. I don't need to see any specific depth or any kind of range of motion here. You let me know what you feel is that range. Good. Press through the left, pull through the right. Yeah. So just maybe like for a 4 or 5 count. And again, like we always want to think about motion even when we're stretching or passing, right? So almost like a little bit of a buoying action, a little bit of up and down, maybe a little bit of rotation.
Okay.
Sure, roll. So building on that a little bit, we still kind of follow a similar schematic here where we see isometric isolation, activation, so to speak, followed by a little bit of mobility, and then followed by her putting it in action for how it makes sense to her. I think that there's, and this is just again my thought, I think that there is something with the neurology, something with the proprioception, to where the body should be able to understand and register where it is with what we're trying to do. And for all intents and purposes, not many people are going to be able to register off of a front foot elevated adductor mobility drill. So doing something a little bit more basic or rudiment, such as this with the lateral lunge, go ahead and flip around, hit the other side, just allows her body to kind of be a little bit more informed as to the points that we're trying to work towards. Another thing that we should note here as well, and this is what we were seeing with Amira's deadlifts yesterday. She tends to have that heel coming to the midline pattern, which in something like lateral flexion is going to be exacerbated, of course. For my role and my interest, especially with her level of ability and where she's at in her training cycle, that's not something that tips me off for good, bad, or otherwise. I see that as being kind of what her mechanics are. It does seem to be pretty even between sides. But in other words, it's a roundabout way of saying we don't necessarily want to think about it as correcting that. I look at it as how do I facilitate the patterns and positions that she demonstrates. If we have a high school athlete who's in early GPP, then we can have a lot more influence on those points. But for someone such as this, I want to facilitate what I see as being there unless demanded otherwise. So now even more just kind of shape, almost like your natural approach type of stuff. Get a little bouncy, move around a little bit. Let's start to see if we can detect any differences. We're just going to do 2 quick little drills here for mobility. And for these, what we're going to do is use this elevation here, or a makeshift pad. So we're going to start in like a crawling position here, and then we're going to elevate that outside leg. So what we're going to do is start by internally rotating, hold 5 count, drop back down, lift up, 5 count. Okay?
Okay.
Fair warning, I've probably made that look a lot easier than it is for you.
Yeah, I feel like this is about to burn my head.
Let's see what we got. If this is, if the angle is not right for you, we're gonna adjust it down a little bit, but this should be okay.
Okay.
So your first action here, drive the knee down, lift the foot high. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, back to neutral, lift.
Okay.
Yep, back to neutral and then lift, good. Press the hands, 5, 4, keep it high, 3, keep it high, 2, 1, back down. Knee down, foot high. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to neutral, up. Hands. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drive down, last one. Lift high, lift high. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Neutral, up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. So we'll flip that around. Same. Not so bad. Yeah, not so bad. So I'm not sure what to classify this as. It's some FRC concept influence here, but again, I think for all intents and purposes, we want to have activity while we're thinking about mobilizing. So contraction is something that I look for a lot with these different motions. I don't think passive actions provide much value for at least we'll say advanced or elite athletes. Good. Try to be a little bit more controlled in the trunk. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Press the hands, control the trunk, bring it together. Hands. 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one. High. Control. 3, 2, 1. Down. Up. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now just come down right where you are. Let's get into that 90. And all isolate the back leg here. Okay, so front leg, no concern. All I'm going to do here is kind of just lift that back leg up, and then again just kind of fall into that foot, coming back off. So lifting high, driving down, do about 3, a little bit shorter here. So good.
Hold.
Yeah, for a 3 count. 3, 2, 1. Knee down, foot high, foot off. Yep. 3, 2, 1. Sit again. So now see how that stays down without my influence. Yeah. Even when we're isolating one hip, the hips can't be separated. Everything is interfering. One. Perfect. Switch. So other side. Yep. Good. And same sequence here. Just let me know if you notice anything major between left and right on this. Yep. Big open. Good. Good job on that front knee. So definitely short on this side.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe we really do need to double back this out here if we can. 5. Good. And we're up. Interesting. Well done. And let's finish off.
Yeah,
that was a big difference. Yeah, big difference there. Mm-hmm. Cool. So let's just finish off here. Nothing even really specific. Just kind of getting wide. Couple here. And then another one that I really like for the adductor is just kind of like this overhead bend. So I'll use the rack here to just kind of reach over that inside leg. Over here. Back here. And then whatever you'd like. Just, it's the last thing we got here. So again, with today kind of being a regeneration, restorative type of focus, where when we're thinking more with our coach hat on, developmentally, I want less input from me and more from the athlete. Obviously, we have a plan coming in, general points that we want to hit, things we want to try to emphasize, but the big thing for me is athlete feel. Placebo or otherwise, just going to hold for about a 5 count. I really just want them to leave this session feeling better, feeling more confident, physically, psychologically, and feeling as if she's doing something that is going to help facilitate the training that's going to follow.
Doing that stretch is
all oblique.
tighter on my right.
Okay.
Sure.
So right oblique, left adductor is going to be our when we link back. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And then anything else you normally do? Anything you like at the end of the session? Just hit a couple of those. And again, just using it as an evaluator. Right oblique, left adductor. Fair enough. How about, so the both great?
Okay.
Something here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is again just, partially for me, partially for her, but just trying to get as much of an apples to apples comparison and an objective input of is what we did today beneficial for her or not? Does she notice anything? What are those things that she notices? And for my interest, this is what we'll be putting into our notes after we finish and kind of help guide and steer training parameters and direction on the developmental side, but then also, of course, our next session that was set to be more regeneration restorative. But from everything that I can see, this looks really good.
Twisting to this side of the more restricted.
So right oblique again. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Cool. Any questions on any of that stuff? That all feel pretty good?
No, everything's good. So,
Awesome.
thank you.
Thank you. So here we have a alternating single leg RDL, or as some people like to call it, a alternating drinking bird. To start off our accessory block here. So for this, everything that we know about a single leg hinge, trying to create length, tension through the backside, long hamstrings, tilt the pelvis up and back, maintaining rigid neutral torso. And for any kind of single leg hinging activity, I'm pretty consistent with just wanting to have equal distribution of foot pressure, driving down through the big toe, pinky toe pretty evenly, and then kind of melting into the heel and the backside. Barring any kind of specific limitation or deficit, I don't know that we really need to deviate too far beyond that too often. So now for the fun part, so now we're going to come back into a little bit of a modified hinge here. So where on that one we're, full hinge, full length, essentially an extended knee. On this one, I want you to get into like a half squat, half hinge pattern. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the kettlebells for motion, and we're going to go about 10 seconds on each leg. So your job is to just get into your position, start motion swinging through the kettlebells, and don't let those kettlebells pull you over. So for me, I'm going to get to right about here, okay? And then we're just going to work this action front to back. And as you get more comfortable with that motion, really kind of try to make yourself fall over, but don't. One little caution point on this, just with that right kettlebell, make sure we don't swing back into that knee or leg. Start nice and easy, build into it, bring your chest up just a little bit, right there, and we'll start our count. Melt that foot. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Same thing, opposite side. Get your rhythm. Melt that foot, you're good. Start easy, work into it, and let's go from there. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very well done. And we'll go ahead and set that down. Cool.